Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to rip the Band-Aid right the F off. Marvel has killed off another character, another stunt to boost sales. And we think there might be an ulterior motive behind this, but Twitter is losing its poop.
Yep.
Can I
what
say
else
poop?
Is new? Yeah.
Can I say
it's
poop?
a day that ends in Y.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this because this, of all the characters for them to pick, this is one that the Twitter stands really, really like. And in fact, the writer of the book was told a couple months ago not to go to conventions. Not to go to conventions after the end of the storyline because he wouldn't like what happens.
Yeah, this is the same Dippo that did the Mary Jane's married to somebody else in an alternate dimension type thing.
Yeah, and that's what I think people thought that they were talking about, was like, oh, it's the Mary Jane thing. Well, a lot of longtime Spider-Man fans have given up on Marvel undoing One More Day a long time ago. They're like, yeah, this is never going to happen. Spider-Man, Mary Jane will never be put back together or whatever. And that's a lot of people noped out of Spider-Man because of it. Oh, no. It's apparently because they kill Ms. Marvel.
They're not going to leave her dead because the movie comes out for the Marvels this fall and everybody is thinking the same thing on Twitter, which is, and everywhere else, which is they're just trying to retcon her powers to match the MCU.
Yeah.
And they're using this as a way to drum up attention for Ms. Marvel because most people don't give a shit about Ms. Marvel and they have the Marvels coming and it doesn't look like it's going to do very well.
Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. If you do, you will get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
And yeah, back to your point. If you're new to the channel, we talk a lot about comics. We talk a lot about Disney. We talk a lot about stunts. And look, Ms. Marvel, we've done multiple videos about how Disney has tried to get this character to stick. They've given her own show. They made her the lead in the Avengers video game, which failed miserably. They've rebooted her comic multiple times. And now they've got this movie coming out, and there's not a lot of interest in this movie.
No, and now, so they're trying to drum up. It's working, though. Everybody's talking about Ms. Marvel, and a lot of people are mad because they're like, oh, they're fridging her. It's because, you can't kill her because she's young. You can't kill her because she's Muslim. You can't kill her because she's brown. It's a white dude killing off this character. I'm like, well, there's been people who weren't, white, or women or whatever that killed off characters that were, that were white men or whatever.
Marvel has been killing characters off and resurrecting them for decades.
Yeah,
so
she's not going to stay dead. Come on, everybody knows this.
It just shows like how little comics these people, the Ms. Marvel stands, actually read, because you would know this. Like, most characters don't stay dead.
Interestingly enough, though, most of the people on Twitter are calling this out themselves. It's funny to me because I was reading the comments and there's people that are being like, it's Islamophobia and all this other stuff. But most of the people are like, this is stupid. And they're mad because they're doing this to give her that stupid purple powers, the crystal arms and all that. And that's what most of the comments are. And that's what people are mad about.
Yeah, they basically turned her into Green Lantern, in Marvel. She doesn't have the stretchy powers, which is so weird because when they announced that they were doing the live action Ms. Marvel, we're like, how are they going to get her powers across? Especially,
well, she has some of it, but not, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, she doesn't stretch out her arms. She doesn't do all the, Mr. Fantastic stuff because it would look ridiculous in live action, especially with the budget of a Disney Plus show.
Plus, they're going to be doing, Fantastic Four. So
it seemed kind of pointless. So yeah, a lot of people are saying now they think that they're going to kill her off, bring her back. In the show, she's a mutant.
Yes.
Bring her back as a mutant with the purple crystal powers.
Yeah, they're going to take her to the island and then, she's going to be brought back. Because there's another series coming out. They put her death in the Amazing Spider-Man series, the one that everybody hates because it's bullshit and this Zeb dude just keeps fucking everything up. And now they're going to bring her back in this Fallen Friend series. It's starting this summer where everybody's going to mourn her across the different places about how she died and all this other crap that no one gives a shit about, all ahead of the movie.
Nobody gives a shit about her or nobody gives a shit. Like they're trying to make her the center of the Marvel Comics universe. They've been trying for years. I mean, she basically just showed up. This is a character that, like, look, her first storyline, her first couple of years, they were okay. I read the first couple trade paperbacks. They were okay. I actually thought they were pretty decent. And then they just made her absolutely insufferable. And then when
they made her more likable in the show, thankfully.
Yeah, the kid that plays her is actually, she seems pretty cool. I mean, I don't have a problem with, I mean,
she's better in the show, I think, as far as the character being less like an annoying little shit.
Yeah, and but they've tried. They used her in the Avengers game. They're trying to prop this character up artificially. Her and Captain Marvel. It's almost like they're trying to get the Marvel characters to stick, the female Marvel characters to stick, to be like, oh, it's called the Marvel Universe because of the Marvels being the center of it.
Yeah,
Forget all about Spider-Man and Captain America and those guys.
People aren't buying it. They're not. It's not resonating with people. So they're trying to get people to talk about this character. Everybody's running with, oh, we killed her. I mean, it's smart. It's stupid, but I mean, from a business standpoint, they're trying to kill like 3 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, I think it's so funny because all these stands are so angry. I'm like, is this their first time? Like,
I know people keep saying that she's going to be back anyway, but beyond that, they're mostly angry about the stupid. They're going to change her powers, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Betting money they're going to bring her back with the purple power and the crystal hands and everything else in the comics, like the movie and the show.
Yep. Is it so they can have her resurrected as a mutant so they can do away with their links to the failed Inhumans thing? Yeah, so here's the thing. There's always been a connection in the last decade or two between the movies and the TV shows and the comics. And usually what happens is something changes in the movies or the TV shows that affects the comics. It used to be the other way around. It used to be the comics informed the movies. Now they do it the other way around. The thing with the Inhumans was, now they made her an Inhuman, but this was also at the time when we had Ike Perlmutter being pissed off, and he decided that because Fox had Fantastic Four and X-Men, that he was going to basically wipe the mutants out of comics completely, even though the X-Men were a cornerstone of the Marvel Universe. So now all of a sudden the X-Men were kind of sidelined, and it was all Inhumans, and nobody wanted the damn Inhumans.
No.
They didn't want the Inhumans. So they made her an Inhuman. Now, multiple stories. The one is that they actually intended for her to be a mutant the entire time and not an Inhuman, but the whole power thing, that's basically so it didn't look stupid and ridiculous and also trip over Mr. Fantastic in the MCU.
I think that's I think that's that last one. It looks ridiculous though. So that's why it's not about not looking ridiculous, because everybody's like, well, I guess, her hands as being big for no reason looks dumber than the crystals, but
yeah,
in live action. In
live action. Now, they're like, why is Spider-Man so devastated? Yeah, he doesn't know. I mean,
that's what they're saying. They're like, Miles Morales is her friend, not Peter Parker.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, but again, this is to get people to buy Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
Sales of Amazing Spider-Man have not been amazing from what I understand.
Well, no wonder. This guy keeps fucking up everything.
And this is the guy writing the movie, right? And he's the guy
he's one of the ones writing the movie, yes.
He's being brought in to write Deadpool 3 too, isn't he?
Oh, I don't know. I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him.
And the thing is, this guy, he's gonna take the comic books and he's gonna connect it to his film.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, if I was a betting woman, my money, well, obviously she's not gonna stay dead. Anybody who's been around comics for years knows this gimmick, and they're tired of it. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But she's not gonna stay dead because they have the film coming out in November. Plus, but they're gonna probably, I guarantee you, I think people are right that they're gonna try to make her a mutant. That they're gonna bring her back to life that way to line her powers in both the comics and the MCU and all this other crap. And they're also trying to use it as a way to actually make people give a shit about a character that people just don't give a shit about.
How many reboots has she had?
Exactly.
Mean, back in the day at Marvel, if a character took off organically and they were part of a team book, they would get their own series. They'd usually start out with like a mini series, and if that did well, they would go beyond issue 4.
Well, not now. They just make them a main character, and you have to like it. And if you don't like it, we're going to put her on the show. We're going to do everything we can to make it stick, even if it doesn't want to stick.
Is she going to come back as a white girl?
Oh, no. So you can't say that. You can't.
Aren't people pissed off that they kill her because they're killing her off in, was it like a AIP month or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, like I can't keep track of the months now, but they're like, oh my God, so how do we celebrate this month?
That was dumb. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, you could have timed it a little bit better, maybe not done it this month, because I mean, everybody knows it's not going to be a permanent thing. But this is the wrong month to drop that issue.
Well, they did that with oh my God, was Latink's Awareness Week or whatever, where they had, I don't even know what the hell they call these things anymore, but they had all the DC characters, even the ones that weren't even technically Latinks. They had them carrying burritos and bags of food and
oh my
shit
God,
like that.
yes, people are mad.
Like, what is
wrong with you? So next month they're gonna kill off America Chavez, or at least her mom's.
Oh, right. Homegirl has a movie coming out in 6 months. It's being co-written by the same dude who killed her off. I give it 4 to 5 months, and they'll have a new version of her from an alternate reality who has purple powers and is a mutant. Anyway, comics suck now. That is a good
Summed
sentence.
it up pretty well.
Nothing is permanent. There are no stakes. And the problem is that the MCU is in the same position that Marvel Comics is in right now, where they brought all this multiverse crap in, and nothing is permanent. Everything can be undone, even if it's ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what's going on with Captain America now.
Except for Mary Jane and Spider-Man.
Except for Mary Jane and
No
Spider-Man.
matter what happens. It's like, yeah, we got another version of Gamora, but we can't bring back Black Widow.
Yeah, they introduced Adam Warlock, too, in Guardians 3. I'm like, you're doing it all backwards.
Right.
You're
But I'm
doing
just
this all
saying. I
backwards.
mean, it's like, this is dumb. Like, there's one thing that's permanent no matter what, even if it doesn't make sense.
And nothing is permanent. I mean, geez, Gwen Stacy, if I thought one thing was going to be permanent in Marvel, it was going to be Gwen Stacy, and they even F that up. Now they got multiple versions, variants of Gwen Stacy. Some of them like boys, some of them don't like anything. That's a whole thing too. But like, there are no stakes. It doesn't matter. None of this is Islamophobia.
There's a lot of comments I didn't put in here, but they were like people are getting really pissed off. They're mad it's fridging. Oh, you take the one, diverse person and you're not supposed to.
One diverse person?
You're not supposed to kill the brown Muslim girl because that's an unstated rule and everything else. And I mean, I'm like, I'm more worried the fact that she's a kid. To me, you don't usually kill kids, but hey, it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Except for some people. But everybody
the people
knows
that don't read comics or haven't read
Yeah.
comics or are new to comics and they're only following, Ms. Marvel and, Miles Morales, they don't understand. Marvel has done this for decades. Nothing is permanent. Ever since they brought Jean Grey back, it's like, okay, well, we can just bring... Because that meant a lot. When they killed Jean Grey, that was huge to kill off one of the original X-Men and keep her dead, but she only stayed dead for like 3 or 4 years.
Right. And even if they would kill her off, which they're not going to, because the movie's coming out.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's AAPI Heritage Month.
Yeah, you forgot an A.
Okay, I'm sorry. Wait, May 2nd. What's your favorite Ms. Marvel quote in honor of hashtag AAPI Heritage Month? I had it wrong. I can't keep track of this. Is like a new thing, right? I keep thinking AARP. AAPI Heritage Month. Follow teenage heroic sensation Kamala Khan as she fights to save Jersey City, her friends, her world, and so much more in these Marvel comics as they kill her off. Well,
they asked that. Marvel asked that before they announced they were going to kill her off.
Well, they knew. They work on these books like 3 or 4 months ahead of time.
Probably, I agree. That's probably why they told the writer not to go to conventions anytime in their future.
Yeah, so we can talk about that. This was last month, and most people assumed that this was because of the Mary Jane thing. People thought this is because, Marvel teased maybe, finally undoing One More Day and getting Peter Parker and Mary Jane back together. Zeb Wells made sure that's not going to happen. So all these, 40, 50-year-old dudes that are like, hey, I quit Spider-Man years ago.
Yeah, they're not worried about them.
They're not worried about them.
about the Twitter stands coming and causing crap. The thing is, I think and I think they might, and if they do, it would be because of the making, her a mutant, not because they believe she's actually staying dead.
Yeah, so this is what he said. He said it's going to be the most shocking issue of Amazing Spider-Man in 50 years. Not really. Wells didn't reveal any concrete details as to what fans should expect out of Amazing Spider-Man 26. He did say he's been warned by editor Nick Lowe not to attend any conventions following its immediate release. I can tease that many people will be very mad at me. I can tease that Nick told me not to do any comic book conventions after this issue comes out. People will be upset.
Yeah, and they're doing it like, it's almost like you can hear them laughing about saying it. So damn well they're not going to keep her dead. I mean, nobody believes for 1 minute she's going to stay dead.
No.
If you believe that, stop believing it now because they're not gonna.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of funny. Again, first time, we've been dealing with this for years. They always do this. This is actually kind of a sign that the comics are not doing well. When they have to resort to stunt deaths, and stunt resurrections. This is what they did in the 90s, to boost sales. Oh, Superman's dead for real,
I think
forever.
it's partly the comics, but I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of demand for the Marvels.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're like, shit, we got to get people talking about this character.
We'll get on CNN.
And the comic will probably run right into the movie.
Probably. Or we'll make sure everything lines up right. Everybody's going to be... I mean, look, I'll give them credit for that. That's one huge mistake they made back in like 2016, 2017, is that they swapped all the characters out when Avengers was riding high, and they could have had the comic book iterations mesh up with the movie iterations. They didn't do that. They're like, oh, now's a great time to change everybody out. So when people go to the comic shop after seeing the movie, they're gonna see comics that have characters that they don't even know who these guys are. Who the hell is Riri Williams? You know, nobody knows, nobody cares. Well, they're gonna make it care because she's got her own show coming. So, anyway, are we gonna wrap this one up? I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think it's hilarious. You know, good luck with that, Marvel. This isn't gonna end well. But who are we kidding? The people that are gonna be most pissed off don't buy your comics anyway. So, all right, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.